peeps, welcome back to Project Anonymous, and in today's video,
we're going to explore the new Shape Builder tool in Inkscape version 1.3.
So let's get to it. So not only is this tool going to be helpful for when you design in Inkscape, but it's also going to work well when you need to use the embroidery extension InkStitch.
Yeah, and we'll show you a few examples of how this Shape Builder tool works. We'll use it for a project, and we'll show you why we feel it is a little bit more user-friendly than using the old path tools.
So should we head over to using Inkscape?
Let's get into it.
So first we're going to go over where we can locate this Shape Builder tool.
So right here is our little shape builder, but you obviously need to have some shapes to either join together or remove from. So in the past, we've always had to go to path and use the tools here: union, difference, intersection, exclusion, division, and cut path. And we never seem to pick the correct one the first time. We always have to kind of go through them to kind of get the effect that we want. But this new shape tool is way easier to use. So I'm going to show you an example. We're just going to draw a couple shapes. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. Now, the issue is when you want to intersect them. If you wanted to, say, cut this circle shape out of the rectangle here, obviously select both of the shapes, and then you'd have to figure out, well, which one of these is going to work to get the effect that we want. Well, the Shape Builder tool simplifies it extremely. So we'll go and show you. Now that we have those selected, we're going to hit the Shape Builder tool, and you can see what it does here is it allows you to select the piece of the shape that you want to keep. So if we wanted that circle to cut out that shape, we could just select on that, hit enter, and then you can see it removes the circle piece that overlapped with that. Now again, that is already there in path, and I believe it's exclusion, maybe. This is where we always get it wrong. It may be intersection, I'm not really sure, but the shaping tool makes it much easier. I'm gonna go ahead and undo that real quick.
Also, you can do the union effect within the Shape Builder tool. Just make sure you have everything selected, and then make sure you're on the positive selection, and then you can click and drag over the objects you want to keep and press enter. You can also use the negative selection tool, and you'll get the opposite effect when clicking and dragging over the objects.
And I'm using this more like an eraser, I guess. Like if you wanted this specific arc to be deleted from your design, you could select both and then go to the shaping tool. You can see now I can select what I want to keep, and it will delete everything else. You'll notice that once you select something, you can't unselect it. If that was an accident and we didn't want to keep that, you can't deselect it. But if we hit shift, it will remove that, but I'm not able to re-add that. Just to note that you can one time accidentally select and then hit shift to deselect, and then it will get rid of that. So that's the shaping tool. So how can this be useful in a project?
Well, it can be useful in many ways, from designing to just being more convenient when you need to exclude an object. In the past, when you're trying to exclude it, you end up having to use a break apart tool, and then it adds so many different layers, and then you have to copy and paste layers, and it's just this whole process. But this just makes it a little bit easier.
Absolutely. This makes it much simpler in that it will flatten your design real quickly, and you can actually select the pieces that you want it to do. This makes it much easier. So you want to do a quick project to show where this can be useful?
Let's do it.
So we'll go ahead and start with a background color here. All I really want to do, just to kind of show how this can flatten your design out, is I'm just going to basically draw a bunch of shapes. So I'm going to use my Bezier tool. Just kind of want to go randomized. So I'm just going to assign different colors to these shapes real quick. Again, all we're going for is some kind of randomized pattern that we can use to define the fill of our letters. Actually, it kind of doesn't matter. I'm just going to select all of them, and then I'm going to just select a color and get rid of the stroke. And then I'm going to use this shaping tool, and now you can see I can select what I want to keep. And what this is going to do is it's going to flatten. So like right here, there would be like 4 different layers all on top of each other stacked. But by using the shaping tool, it is going to just keep one single layer. And now they're all there. And you can see we have a bunch of different shapes within here, but they're all on a single layer.
Because if it wasn't, you're embroidering so many layers on top of each other, and then it just wouldn't end up working.
Yeah, it wouldn't look good at all. So now what I can do is just assign different colors. So So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some font here that we can use this pattern on our letters. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to convert this to a path so that I can kind of reshape it. Let's move this to the back.
So basically it keeps the colors of whatever is on the top of your design.
We want kind of the mosaic that we made. So now I'm going to go through and select all the pieces of the letters. I guess the next step would be to reorder this into colors so that we can make sure we have very little thread changes that we have to do. So what I'm going to do to make this easy is I'm just going to put all the layers on a layer. Use my layer tool, and then I'm going to create a new layer.
So now there's going to be way less color changes, so we can go ahead and view this in the simulator.
Let's do it.
Preview.
We're definitely going to want to cut the jump stitches before we move on to the next color, but this should be good.
Save it and embroider it.
Let's go.
So I think the results turned out really interesting, and this is really just an easier way to use Inkscape versus going to the path and trying to figure out which setting to even click.
Yeah, it makes it really simple, this shaping tool, to decide what it is that you want to keep in order to get the results that you want.
Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it if you liked it.
Like it.
Subscribe if you enjoy our content.
Subscribe.
And turn on those notifications to get reminded every single time we post a video. Stay crafty.
And be happy.
Bye!